So today I'm going to ride a Guerrilla, and I'm not talking about the big airy thing with long arms. I'm talking about this. The Royal Enfield 450 Guerrilla has similar characteristics to the Himalayan 450, such as it carries that 452cc single cylinder engine. It also has the chassis that's the same, and the frame has been adapted to suit these 17-inch wheels. But what does it ride like? Let's go find out. So sit back, relax, and come along for the ride. So as always, I've got my pillion passenger Amy B with me. She'll give you that pillion perspective at the end of this ride. But whilst we're at the Smalley Cross motorcycle dealership in Derbyshire, we'll pop in and just check out some of the other colours you can get in this bike. So the Guerrilla comes in 5 colours, and the only one missing from the lineup in the dealership was the smoke silver. But this one's called the Gold Dip, followed by the Brava Blue, and then also the Player Black, and the bike we're out on today is called the Yellow Ribbon. Right, so here we go, we'll just get the bike fired up. Yeah, I mean, I must admit, the Himalayan, like I said, same engine, same exhaust, has the same sound, and once this bike's just kind of warmed up a little bit, it does sound rather nice. Absolutely just purrs on tick over. Okay, so I'll just wait for Amy to jump on board, and we've actually got a dry day. It's a bit overcast, it's not that cold, 13 degrees, and here we go. So like I said, this has got the same engine as the Himalayan 450, which carries that 39.5 brake horsepower at 8,000 RPM, and it's got that 40 Newton meters of torque at 5,500 RPM. I do think the only difference is the gearing has been slightly changed. Straight away when you get on the bike, the seat is nice and comfortable, the riding position is nice. I mean, we've got quite a low seat height as well at 780mm, again a bit lower than the Himalayan, but this has got the 17-inch wheels. I think it's great that Royal Enfield has brought out a roadster like this, because not everybody wants a bike to go off-road on, hitting those trails, etc. So if you're just into street riding, then this bike could be the one for you. And at £5,050, and they also do one with a analog dash. This is the digital TFT dash, which is about another £100 cheaper, again if you want to save a few quid. But like I say, ergonomically the bike is nice, the pegs feel comfortable, you're a nice upright riding position. So overall I love the styling on this bike, and I think this particular model will appeal to all ages as well. The shape of the tank, it's flat on the top, and it's got a capacity of 11 litres, which doesn't sound a lot, but you actually get around about 150 miles range on that. It does a whopping 82 miles to the gallon, which is just phenomenal. And just as we're riding it through a few of the twisties, and hopefully that car isn't going to pull out on me, definitely feel this bike turns nice. So if you also notice with this bike, it doesn't have a screen on it, although again in the accessories catalogue you can get one for this bike. You do cop the wind like you do on any street bike that's a naked bike, but for that reason you don't get no buffering, or you don't get no turbulence, because there's no screen. All the switchgear works really well, as it does on the Himalayan 450. It's the same setup. On the left there you've got your indicators, underneath you've got your little joystick to go through your menu. You've got 2 modes for the bike, one's performance and the other one is eco. Today I've just left it in performance. So I've just changed the screen as well and put it into the dark mode, because the cameras don't tend to like the white screen, which you do have to pull over before you can change any settings off the bike. You can't turn the ABS on this bike off as well, and you wouldn't really need to be honest, because again you might want to go down 1 or 2 trails, but I don't think you're going to be taking it off-roading. Otherwise you'd have just bought the Himalayan 450. So the good thing about these bikes is, what you can't do with a lot of bigger engine bikes is with these you can full throttle them And like I said, because it's got that 17-inch front and rear wheel, this bike turns really nicely. I mean, like all these single cylinder engine bikes, when you get high up into that rev range, you do get a bit of a vibration through the bike, but like I said before, the same with the Himalayan, it's not annoying. It's going to be one of those bikes, the more you ride it, the more you're going to enjoy it. I was a little bit worried to start with the TFT screen being offset to the side, the same as the petrol fill-up, but that adds to the looks of the bike. But now we're getting on the twisty lanes. This bike is serious fun. The suspension's plush, it's still carrying the 43mm telescopic forks made by Showa on the front. We've got that single rear shock on the back that's kind of preload adjustable only. I mean, you can absolutely throw it around into these corners. Like I said, 185 kilos wet weight, but when you're actually manoeuvring it around, because you've got that low seat height, it's just so easy to turn. Look how quick I did that. And if I get on those brakes, yeah, this bike does stop nice as well. Even on the overtakes, this bike does not struggle. The fuel delivery and the throttle response is beautiful. The handlebars are kind of more towards you, so it does give you a bit more of a sporty feel. You can really tip it into the corners nice. I'm pretty sure you could take it out on the motorway. This bike will be capable of doing around that 100 mile an hour flat out. You are going to get some wind blast. To me, this engine is already proving itself when I've rode out in the Himalayas, and it performs absolutely beautiful. And now they've popped it into this street bike frame, it's done exactly that again. The ergonomic setup has been absolutely fine so far. We've clocked a few miles up. I don't feel uncomfortable at all. With that seat height at 780mm, it's going to appeal to the shorter riders as well. So as we're just heading into 𝖬𝖏𝖊𝖊𝖊𝖊, we'll pull over so we can take a closer look at this bike. Just going to park up next to this. I'm not even sure what it is, but it certainly looks a bit older than me. So here we go, guys. We have just stopped in the centre of 𝖬𝖏𝖊𝖊𝖊𝖊 here, where it's renowned for all the chip shops. They always say it's the seaside town that's the furthest from the sea. But looking at this Royal Enfield Guerrilla 450, like I said, I think Royal Enfield has done a cracking job with the styling on this bike. This colour is really vibrant. Like I said, this is the yellow ribbon colour, and you can even see on the exhaust where it's just starting to purple off. It kind of matches the purple on the tank and also on the wheels. I love the fact that they've put these rubber gaiters on the suspension as well. One other thing with this bike is you get a centre stand as standard on all their Guerrilla models. That short ride we've kind of done into the Peak District, the bike feels fairly sporty. Like I said, these handlebars are set quite a bit back, gives you that sporty riding position. For me, that seat is super comfortable, probably more comfortable than the Himalayan 450. The exhaust is the same, you get the same note, and when you get on that throttle, you get that airbox sound that does really give it a nice roar to the bike. Tyre wise, we've got these 𝖬𝖏𝖊𝖊𝖊𝖊 tyres that have got quite a bit of tread on, to be honest. I thought they would have gone something more like what they put on the Himalayan. It's got the nice bright LED headlight on the front, integrated brake light and indicators on the rear, again taken from the Himalayan 450. The brake lights are built in. So tyre size on this bike, on the front we've got a 120/70/17, and on the rear we've got a 160/60/17. So wet weight on this bike is 185 kilos. It's not the lightest bike in its category, but once the bike's moving, that weight just disappears. So braking wise, on the front we've got a 310mm single disc with a 2-piston caliper. And on the rear we've got that 270mm single disc that's got plenty of stopping power, and that's got a 1-piston caliper. And like I say, the calipers are 𝕑𝖓𝖊𝖈, which are the cousins of Brembo. It's also got things like the USB-C charging point, which is quite handy. So I like the fact they've also put this kind of flap on the back of the mud guard on the front there, just to kind of stop that mud from kicking up onto the engine. So one of the added benefits of having one of these Guerrillas is the fact that when this tank's so flat, it's also got the added benefit of putting your fish and chips on. And as always, we like to get that pillion perspective from Amy B, because she's been the one sat on the back of this Guerrilla today. How was it for you?
Yeah, so it's been comfortable today. Slightly smaller seat, I think, than I'm used to on the Himalayan. But having now sat on your seat, this one's definitely more comfortable than my seat. But it's definitely been okay for today's ride out, so no complaints today.
And I've noticed it has got some grab handles on the back there, just to give you a little bit more kind of stability on the bike. So guys, I've got to say, I've really enjoyed riding this Royal Enfield 450 Guerrilla today. Having those 17-inch wheels does mean this bike turns really nicely. It handles those twisty roads really well. And I've got to say, £5,050, an absolute bargain of a price. Peace of mind, you get a 3-year warranty with Royal Enfield. It's definitely a bike I'd like to see in my garage. So I hope you liked the video, guys. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Give us a like, and we'll see you in the next one.